tell you this. I come from nothing. I'm from this city here, born in Hialeah, raised in Fort Lauderdale, moved to California in 2009. I come from nothing, okay? So what I did, I formulated a niche to be able to help people and navigate them to avoid all the pitfalls in crypto. And what I normally come to realize at these conferences, people in the audience never get any real value. So I'm glad she asked this question here. So what I would tell you firstly is avoid all of the narratives that you hear on the mainstream media. All of the assets that they talk about, you're only going to hear about 4 assets: Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and XRP.
Right.
If you're somebody who's coming from nothing, right, we wouldn't be able to really make an impact and change our lives with investing in those particular assets. So I would say to you is ignore all of that, focus on what Bitcoin really is, understand that first, and then once you get that, because you know, with Bitcoin, you know, birthed the blockchain. And I know we heard what the blockchain is, we hear about that, but we don't really know what it is. But once we understand what Bitcoin is, then we can go from there to everything else. So I would pretty much say start with Bitcoin, ignore all of the things that you hear on the media, because really that's there to deter you from even looking into this. And I think once we understand that what the opportunity really is, which is the next iteration of the internet, then you can begin to see that it's much larger than what people are putting out there in the mainstream. So learn what Bitcoin is. I wouldn't say invest in it just yet, because for what? You don't even know what it is, right? So I would start there.
I'd like to add to that. So a couple things first thing is I would say be aware and be okay at looking at your limitations of your knowledge. And you know, be okay with the fact that you don't always know everything and you may not ever know everything. Focus on the things that you can control, learn some aspects of the space to the fullest, and for what you are not able to actually know or understand, or to the little areas where you know that you could really use a little bit of help, you know it to a point, but you can always use, you're not 100% sure. Have people that you trust that have a going record. You didn't just meet them, you know, you see their record, you know who they are, that you can kind of bounce ideas off of, because very often we understand things a lot more once we're explaining it, once we're saying it to somebody else as well. I'd also say, you know, it's very dangerous when you're fighting against, you know, really ingrained biases and fallacies. And when somebody else is adamant against crypto, you know, or you know, Web3, or they had a bad experience with it, you know, no matter how much evidence that you propose and you give to them, and no matter how much you could be right, it doesn't matter. You're just going to push them even further away. It's called the backfire effect, and it's a natural human psychological reaction. It's a defense mechanism where, because we know that I thought this out, I'm not dumb, you know, I thought about it, you know, whatever. This isn't, you know, if it was that easy, then I would have been able to know it so quickly in the very beginning when somebody else says, no, you were wrong. You can't focus on that. You can't, even if you have that evidence, you gotta hold it and you gotta be ready with it. But you gotta first start with something that you share that's the same. You gotta get on the same side. You gotta be saying yes. And you gotta get buy-in from the other person. So the other person now is like, oh wait, they do know what they're talking about. They do have knowledge. I do accept what they're saying, because this thing that we agree on, they're right about it because we agree, right? And we like to think that what we're thinking is right. Because you really need to get around people's confirmation bias. That's what it comes down to. People will, when you bring any piece of information in front of them, any evidence, no matter how good that evidence is, if it goes against their preconceived notions and their opinion that they had in the onset, if it goes against it, they either, will fight it or they'll ignore it and forget it moments later. But if it supports their beliefs, then they'll remember it and then they'll incorporate that to their evidence when they go to the next person to go do it. So you have to fight that, and the best way to do so is to get agreement first and then ask questions, bringing your evidence up in questioning so that now they have to investigate that evidence with your questions in mind. So that's how we can kind of get people who have had bad experiences or just hear the words cryptocurrency and they're like, scam, like the conversation I had with my father, months ago where I mentioned it and he goes up, scam right away. And then, but by bringing up these other aspects of the economy that can be changed, the other aspects of equality, and then asking questions and bringing the evidence in with those questions, you get those buy-ins and you get those aha moments. I know that you wanted to say something as well.
No, you just said something that was, that kind of triggered my train of thought, and to me, I believe it's all of these things. But I think it's also rooted in something very simple, community. And the base word of community is unity. And it's like, if you don't have a community of people that are able to grow in this immersive yet emerging world, then you're just out there by yourself and you really don't know who you can trust and who you can count on. So I hosted a wallet party, something simple like that in my community. I work with a couple DAOs, helping them to build out their ecosystems, and I realized that just something simple as that, just being a servant leader in a space where it's like, hey, maybe I don't know everything, but I do know this. I do know you need to have a wallet. So like, let's just do that. Here's my community, and now I just opened it up, and now I have 15, 20 people that I was able to help just with something simple like that. So now they don't see it as a scam, they see it as, I now have access, now I have a community. So that's what I would say.
Do you think the nomenclature of it being called cryptocurrency gives people like a good idea of what it is?
Well, I think you got something to say?
Yeah, I certainly do.
Okay.
You guys remember what happened with Reddit, right? Yep. It's the best freaking example. You have to meet people where they're at. Simple. You gotta meet people where they're at. We're sitting here, Reddit been trying since Bricks and Moons, been trying to push cryptocurrencies on their platform. The majority of the folks on there are gamers. They didn't want that shit. All they did was change, excuse my language by the way. All they did was change the marketing, change the approach, change the conversation, and then one day they got 3 million people to sign up for wallets by calling it digital collectibles. Again, you have to meet people where they are at. You have to relate what you're bringing to them to what they understand, and then you'll get them. Because in that one day, they got 3 million people, yet OpenSea got like 2.9 million over the lifespan that they had. Again, meet people where they are. If someone that's why I hated this whole marketing stuff in this space. It's known in GTA for eternity. There's communities in those platforms. And the thing that really makes the virtual world a metaverse is if it's minted on a blockchain. 99.9% of these things are not on a blockchain. So why are you calling it a metaverse? You're just confusing people and pushing people away from your project.
We remember information so much more and we integrate it more into our lives when it connects to something else that we've done forever and stuff like that. So when we start to reinvent the wheel all the time and call it a different name, we're not necessarily actually helping the process. We are, it would be connected to other concepts that we've dealt with in the past. I was teaching using Second Life back in 2012, 2013, which is still going strong. And they had this island called Genetics Island that I'd bring bio students onto. But they didn't call it a metaverse back then. And in reality, if you look at every aspect of it, it would have been considered a metaverse if that was invented right now. So, also realizing that we have multiple names for many things, where in different sub-communities and different areas, people will refer to the exact same thing by multiple different names and different terminologies and nicknames and stuff like that. But the more that we're trying to onboard people and get more new people in the space to understand it, we need to connect it to the things that they know already, as an excellent point.
So going a little deeper from cryptocurrency into actual projects that are building through tokenization, how do we feel about, like, I'm with you on, like, I don't like the marketing, right? Because tokens and projects are marketing in a consumer way, but then they're building on the blockchain and they're treating these guys as saying, but you're investors, right? And here's what's in it for you, and here's the gains. Why is that dichotomy there, and how can we clean that up? Like, what should projects run with tokenomics look like?
Well, honestly speaking, it goes so much deeper, right? Like, truly speaking, the people in this room are people who are early adopters of this technology, right? And once we get to a certain point when the masses are onboarded, they'll be onboarded strictly through wallets. They won't even know that they're using blockchain technology. So, personally speaking, we do these conferences because they want to get, the marketing out there. They want to predictive program people to move them into an area. That's why, we see all of these TV shows and things of that nature, which show us where we're going. And we can clearly see that that's happening if we look around us. But like with these projects in the tokenomics, tokenomics and the tokenization, really tokenomics is the characteristics of crypto asset. It's like a personality trait that humans have. We got blue eyes, we got brown eyes. We also have a personality. That creates what characteristics of a particular crypto asset. So me personally speaking, I don't know if it really even matters the approach that they're doing, because when the powers that be really want to move masses into a particular area, you're going to get moved regardless, right? It's like that picture of white Jesus that we've seen at the churches with the sheep behind him. All you have to do is replace his face, put Jim Carrey, put Will Smith, and you're going to follow him, right? So essentially, the people in the room, you can look at this opportunity for what it is. We go back to the 1900s. We're at a point where the economy is changing. We're moving from a physical economy to a digital economy. The same opportunity they had in the 1900s, which was to invest in the infrastructure, which is now being removed and replaced to this blockchain, you can now see what this opportunity truly is. You have the opportunity to truly own the new economy. But can you see it? Or do you just see what's on the news? Or are you just buying into FTX because Tom Brady told you to? Or because Kevin O'Leary said it's wonderful? See, we can go deep, and I like to go deep, because a lot of this stuff is normally surface level crap, but marketing and all that is just a part of the narrative. This whole NFT thing, it's designed for the masses to get trapped in a place of where there's no real money. The real money is the cryptocurrency. It's not the ones that they always talk about on the news. It's the assets that are hidden. And I can sit up here and throw all kind of assets that are underpinning the new economy, where there will be, drones, robots. If I'm living in California, the robots are already delivering DoorDash. So if you're a driver out here delivering, you're going to be replaced. So do you want to own the infrastructure that is going to replace you? Because right now it's pennies on the dollar, but you don't know where to look. I'm the guy that can help you, because this is what I do. So I like to talk about those types of things, because honestly, the marketing, this, that, the third, you guys are going to go home and not even know what any of this is.
Information spread has been, manipulated for, economic and political gain for, since we had societies, pretty much. Adaptively, humans, we have to compete, and but at the same token, we have this little balance between needing to compete to survive and also needing to have our tribe and have the protection of our tribe in order to survive. And so, we need to spread information for our tribe to share knowledge that people understand, so that we can explain where the predators are hanging out and things like that. but we also have that competitive side to us, and needing to have power, needing to make sure that we can manipulate the narrative so that we can get our own gain, make sure that we can get the best, of the berries, and not tell them where that one little patch is, but tell them where the other ones are, in order for us to make sure that we can survive. And that's just kind of human. When we made the printing press back in the 1400s, it was in order to manipulate the conversation. It was in order to be able to spread information more, and in order to change it, to be able to spread propaganda, to be able to spread information that was not necessarily true, or to be able to just kind of spin narratives. And in a way, that's just kind of like what in marketing that we're doing. And it's not, it's not. I'm not saying it's positive. I'm not fighting for it in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that it's a manipulated narrative in order for an area of the world or an area of the society to gain, and others in the society to lose.
So how do we get those ones to win? How do we get those ones to win?
Hold on.
Create a different system.
Hold on. If we're gonna run this like Twitter Spaces, goddamn it, I'll run it like Twitter Spaces.
Run it.
Let's reset this real quick. What was the question?
So my question was,
I just want you to reiterate it.
well, it's how should tokens run their tokenomics
Got you.
in order to create cryptocurrency?
I got you. I said this yesterday. Web3 give people the false judgment that they know how to run a business.
Hello. Amen, brother. For that one. Oh, yeah.
Because tokenomics, again, buzzword, fucking hate that shit. Tokenomics is really a business plan. It's really just how is your business making money? What's your vertical? What's
I'll allocate and who's being paid.
exactly? You're just breaking down how the revenue share, the split, the profits, all of that is going to be distributed within your company. But here's the problem. We call it tokenomics and everyone think they can do it.
Doesn't it
Simply
feel like
said
a
it was
joint venture
business.
deal at the very, just a joint venture deal at the very minimum? But that's
ahead.
how,
Look.
I mean, 21,000.
Well, I just wanted to scale back, no piggybacks, scale back on what you just said, healthy, like a healthy mindset going into this. Because if you don't even understand the health of an organization and basic economics, how can you then try to just skip into tokenomics if you don't even understand scarcity models and supply and demand and cost products, and if you don't understand the basic foundation of what this was even built around, then you have people that are entering into something blindly based off of something that had no infrastructure built into it. So I think really the infrastructure and the knowledge, you can't run something the way you do just something like a hobby. You gotta run it like a business, and we need that mentality of holistic ecosystems, healthy ecosystems, and that's, we gotta get more, we gotta think big.
Yeah.
That's excellent. That's,
You will love.
yeah, you need the data to evaluate.
Absolutely.
I fully agree.
Guys,
Macroeconomics, not, macro, micro.
Ruler.
our time on stage went really, really, really fast. And you guys in the audience can tell that there is nothing but major talent on here. It's actually already running.
We can't keep this going? Do we have any questions? I mean,
Get the body going.
I want to tell you guys this. What you guys actually spoke about is a really great segue, because the next thing that we're going into, to respect their time, right, is the regulation aspect. So I would love to, invite them up here. And so I want to encourage everybody in the audience, please take a look at the side here. Please follow these guys, engage, be a part of their community. I tell people you need to find mentors. They have told you need to find mentors. It's not about the numbers, it's about the mindset and the knowledge. And these guys are really deep in it, okay? I really wish I could go like 4 hours and be in Twitter space.
Thank you.
Because we got that stamina for it, okay?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Carmen, for being amazing.
welcome.
Take a photo real quick. Could you snap the photo?
I appreciate y'all. Conversation for sure.